Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do our third tutorial on Metasploit, and we're just going to do a scenario. We're going to work through a scenario. Okay, so the scenario is that you cracked your Wi-Fi for your target, so now you can log into that network. So now what do you do from there? Okay, so let's open up. There we go. Let's get us a let's see, but you already have it. There we go. Okay, we're gonna open Metasploitable virtual machine. We'll use that for our target. We'll let that open up and log in. And while that's logging in, let's grab our terminal here. Okay, and I'll start my Metasploit script, which will go through the startup for Metasploit. Let that log in. Okay, so here we are. Oh, come on, Metasploit. Finish opening. There we go. Boom. Okay. Now, pay no attention to that. That's just all part of the intro. Not really starting a handler. Okay, now, so we're logged into the network that we just hacked into, and we've got Metasploit up, and the next thing you're going to do is you need to pick a target on that network that you want to get into. Okay, so now you can do net discover and interface, which is TAC-I. We do our Ethernet because it's on the same network, and then the address range, and this is our internal address range. And you could run net discover and then hit Control-C to stop it, and it would go ahead and show you everything in there. And we're still within Metasploit. Okay, now I already know the IP address of our target machine, so I don't have to go through all that. You can also run Nmap against whoops, wrong side, there we go. You can run Nmap against every IP address in there for vulnerabilities, and you would simply do the same thing pretty much to your address range. Okay, but we know which one we're going for, so we're going to go straight to that particular target, since we already know what our target is. We don't have to go through all the search. Sorry, my phone's kind of loud back there. Let me turn it down. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do that, and just in case there's some filtered IP ports, we're going to put in our TAC-PN, and we want it to be verbose so we can see what's going on. Alright, now you can see right away that Nmap has loaded 105 scripts for scanning, so it's going to use 105 independent scripts to go through and check for vulnerabilities. So it's pretty thorough. It'll take just a few minutes. Here we go. Starting to see some action. All right. Now it's still running. Just when you see this right off the bat, and it says not vulnerable, don't think it's done. Don't stop it or anything. Let it keep running. See, there we go. Look at all these ports, man, that are open. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can have a heyday here. All kinds of TCP ports open that we can play with. 8180, typically a web port. You'll get to know your ports eventually, and like Telnet. Looks like a web server's running. This looks like an IRC server's running here. 6667. You can see SMTP on there. It doesn't hurt to learn the most common ports, and you can look that up on the internet. Again, when you do your searches on the internet, use DuckDuckGo. Okay, that gives you your privacy when you do your searches instead of using the other guy. Checking for SSL, CCS injection. Doing stealth scans now, which is good because it won't be noisy on the other end. Less likely for detection type services to pick up on what's going on if it's run in stealth. So that's a good thing. Won't run too much longer here, so just bear with me. I want you to see the entire process as if you were doing it yourself, so you understand how to work with this. I find it interesting that there's possibly an IRC server running on here. We might play with that. That's uncommon. I could easily mess with the web connections, but you guys see that all the time in different videos. I didn't get the volume down on this phone here. Let me try that again. There we go. Now it won't be going bing anymore. So now, if we wanted to look up, since I brought up about the common ports, if we want to look that up, we can do. Let's see. Linux most common ports. And here we go. It gives us explanations. And FTP will be on 21, SSH on 22, Telnet 23, SMTP on 25. So that's helpful, see. Port mapper, POP3 NTP, NetBIOS, IMAP. Here's a list. That's very good. Okay. So it's easy to look this stuff up, like I said, and find out what you need to find out. That'll give you an idea of what you can go to further exploit the machine. Oh, well, we come back here and it's done now. And map done. Okay. So let's scroll back up. Kind of look through here. And I'm going to go over a few things here with you, so you understand what all you're looking at. Okay, so here's where we started it. All right, we know we found all these ports open, and like I just showed you, we can look up what each port is. So we know that we can, different services that we can possibly run an exploit on. Okay, now if we go down here, let's keep scrolling down a bit. Now look at this, FTP VSFTP daemon backdoor vulnerable. It tells us the version of the daemon right here. Okay, it tells us that it is vulnerable, it is exploitable, and it gives us a CVE number. Now, one thing you can do about that, it also gives us references, so we can click on that and pull up reference. Well, looks like that reference is no good, so that wasn't a good example, was it? Let's try this again. Let's see. Let's go to another one. All GitHub, and this one, look, it shows blob modules, exploit, and it's a Metasploit framework exploit that it has. So we click on that, and look, there's the module. So it's probably already available within Metasploit. But if it's not, you can add this exploit to your Metasploit system over here and in these controls. Alright, where it says right there, download raw file, we can click on that, and then right there is the Ruby file. That's the module that we would add to Metasploit. Now, if you don't know how to do that yet, and if you're new to Metasploit, you probably have no idea. I will go over that in a future tutorial of how to add new modules to your Metasploit system, okay, to make it even more powerful. Alright, so that'll give you an idea there. Now, something else that we can do is we have the CVE number I showed you, okay? So let's copy that. I'm going to show you what you can do with that. You can see directly if there are any modules for that. We'll go down here to the Kali links, and then we'll go to the exploit database, which is a complete directory and database full of exploits. Alright, now you want to go over here to the top right corner and see the database search. Click on that. This allows you to drill down. You can put the name on it, you can choose the platform. We'll see. Okay, it's Linux. We know it's a Linux system. We could put the name of the exploit there if we want to. And look here, CVE. And it shows you just put the numbers in, not the letters. So you put the numbers in there, and you can search and see if there's an available exploit. So there's none in the database. Okay, but oftentimes you do find one here. It'll pop up right here. Okay, so that's one way to search for additional exploits that you can get. Now, and as I showed you, this one is showing that it looks like it is available in Metasploit already. And we're going to keep scrolling down. SSH, Telnet, SMTP, all three open. Remember, we just saw those ports. Okay, looks like another vulnerability here, a poodle attack. And it's got information on that, the CVE number. You could look that up. It explains to you the type of attack that can be used for it, how it's vulnerable. Here are some references you can look up to get more information. You just open any one of these. And I think that's the same website that we hit before. They're either getting DOSed or they're just having some issues. But we have other links there we can check, you know, like this one. Well, let's go to this one right here. Well, goodness, we're not having luck with these today, are we? I promise you, you do normally get more information than that. I'm gonna try a couple. I'm determined to get one to show you guys what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay, this is always a good website to check. The MITRE.org or meter.org, however you want to say it. And even like right here, the description can tell you a lot about it. Okay, it makes it easier for man-in-the-middle attacks. Blah 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 blah. Via padding oracle attack, so it tells you what type of attack can be used. The issue, and then below that, this page has references, so it will tell you can find all kinds of information on that particular exploit, which will help us figure out how to exploit the machine better. Okay, I'll move that over, keep going through here. Another one, another vulnerability, and that's what Metasploitable system is designed for. It's designed purposely to have a bunch of different security flaws for you to practice your pen testing skills. This is exactly what it's for. And since we have it in our own test lab on our own computer and virtual machine, it's perfectly legal. We're not doing this to anybody without their permission or anything like that. We're using it on our own system. All kinds of stuff here. DOS attack. Slow Loris DOS attack. Likely vulnerable. And it explains to you how. You can basically, it says you starved HTTP server's resources, causing a denial of service. Possible queries to use. Okay. So all kinds of stuff here to help us along. Looks like it's got TikiWiki. Yeah. Possible information file. Oh, looks like phpMyAdmin is on the server. So if they left that on the server and we can get to that, you can always do a SQL injection. Okay, remember our tutorial if you saw on SQL map, show you how to do some SQL injections. So you could possibly do that. And this is telling us it has a web server. So that means we could go over here. I'm going to go ahead and close that window out and this window out because we don't need it anymore. So we could go directly to the server address. Let's try and open their web server and see what we get. Okay, we're just going to go straight to it. Look at that. They have this set up for us to look at. Isn't that nice? phpMyAdmin. Look at there. Now normally it's not going to be this easy for you, okay? But this is designed to help you learn pen testing. Okay, now looks like it's got a form here for all these clickable links you can check out. Some more open ports. And tells you exactly what NetBIOS, RPC bind, a shell. We've got an open shell here. So all kinds of stuff. Tells you how this is vulnerable, which can lead to a remote code execution. So you could actually do a remote code execution to this port. And here, look here again. Another possible exploit. It gives you the exact module for that you can most likely pull up in Metasploit itself to do that. Open MySQL, Ingress Lock NFS, all kinds of goodies here. Another vulnerability. These are all ways you can attack this machine. Risk factor high, vulnerable, man in the middle. It tells you open SSL, so you can get in here. It says consequently hijack sessions or obtain sensitive information via a crafted TLS handshake, CCS injection vulnerability. Again, references so you can do some research on that. So look at here. Now here's the, remember I told you they probably have an IRC server running. This, if you're familiar with IRC or Internet Relay Chat, it's a very old chat system. Lots of hackers use it from back in the day. This tells you what type of server they have running on their Unreal, which is an old IRC daemon. And it's vulnerable. It's got a backdoor vulnerability. Looks like Trojan's version of Unreal IRCD. It's got information on it. Let's see what the information says. So this is where it was reported to the guys that make it, sent to their support staff, and they tell you about that their, looks like their servers were compromised and somebody replaced the daemon with a Trojan's backdoor type daemon, so people downloading it and installing it would have automatic backdoors installed. It says running RC. The backdoor can be executed regardless of any user restrictions. So even if you have password server or hub that doesn't allow any users in, so you can get in there and pretty much execute any type of command you want, no matter what your permissions are. It says the Windows version is not affected. They tell them how to check it and all this. Okay, so valuable information again. Let's look at that one. Nobody ever attacks an IRC server, so let's have some fun with it. All kinds of admin sections that you can possibly break into in HTTP, or HTTP, excuse me, can't talk. But let's look at that. Okay, so we're going to clear that, and let me see. here's what I was talking about, the exploit. See, my number's probably higher than yours because I've added additional modules to this one. I think 100 or so modules I've added to it extra. But now we want to find an exploit for Unreal. So to drill down, we're going to use grep Unreal search exploits. Okay, and look at there. Looks like we have 3903. So we're going to tell it use 3903. All right. So now we're into that one now. Let's look at the options. Okay. So remote host. Let's go ahead and set that. Our host. Set our host to 192.168.32.130. Okay. And let's look at what payloads are related to this. So I'm going to tell it show payloads right after I did options. So it's going to show me payloads that are related to this particular exploit. And there they are. Well, let me, instead of just getting a full page of a gazillion of them, open it up here so I can see better. Let's see. Here's a reverse connection. Payload command Unix reverse. So, I think that looks interesting. Let's try that one. So, since it's listed there now, we can tell it use 6. Okay. Setting target automatic. No, we don't want that. We want to use that payload. So, let me try that again. Normally it will grab that payload. I don't know why it didn't want to there. Let's see. Okay, and I don't know if we actually include the word payload. We'll find out in a minute. It'll tell us. Yeah, okay, there we go. So now we have that payload set. Let's look at our options again. Alright, it's automatically set up the local host. Let's reset the remote host. 192.168.32.130. Okay, so let's clear. I said, there we go. Let's look at the options again. Alright, so now we have the remote host in there. Everything's set up, the listening port. Alright, so now we can tell it exploit or run. I'm going to do run. And let's see what happens. Not a compatible payload. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, so let's try that. Let's try that once more. Show payloads. Okay, let's see. Grep Unreal search payloads. And it's not going to bring that one up. So let's see if we can go back to our original group. Nope. Okay. Alright. So what do we do here? I'll show you. Clear it. Options. Show payloads. Okay. We'll do a BNC inject. We don't want Windows. Generic would be okay. And it switched our, that's why we're not getting the correct one. Alright, so let's go back. We changed our exploit. Or I wasn't paying close enough attention. That's okay. Let's try that again. Grep Unreal search exploits with an S. Okay, so use 3903. Okay, options. Alright, it's got the remote host. Okay, show payloads. There we go, that's what we wanted. Okay, so command generic execution. Well, we could do a command execution directly on it, but see, I want to use this reverse here, so we're going to set that payload directly. Alright, so set payload. Alright, now we've got it going. Options should be good. Set our local port, or host. Set L host. We're going to tell it Ethernet, so it'll automatically grab that. And now if we do show options or options, see everything's set up. It's using the correct exploit now. We have the payload set. So now let's do run. And bingo, we're connected. There you are, Command Shell Session 1 open. So we're in. And it's already interacting with Session 1, so I don't have to tell it to interact with it. Let's do help. See what we can do. Now here's different things we can do. We can download files, we can upload files. So let's do ls. Look at that. So if we wanted to get more information about the Unreal server, we should be able to do Unreal ircd.conf. Excellent. So see, there's all kinds of stuff we can do here. We can upload a malicious file. We can let's see, run a command script, a resource file. So if we have another resource file that we've recorded, we can do that. We can spawn an interactive shell. So I can do shell. There you go. So now we have a shell. So check it out. So if we're in a shell, we're in ect. We're going to go back. Alright, there we are. Look at that. So now let's go into the system's home directory. Let's try it again. CD home. There we go. Okay, it's Unix, not Linux, so that's why it's using a Unix type shell. And there's our user, MSF admin, and our user named user. Let's go into MSF admin. Okay, let's see what he's got in his. Oh, a vulnerable directory. That's what he's got in his home directory. Let's see what's in there. Look at that. Who am I? I'm root. Nice. So we could grab the shadow file now too if we wanted. We can go into ect. Shadow. Oh. Let's see. We're in ect. Looks like it's Q shadow in here. See. All we had to do is look and we'll find out. So we can grab all the passwords of all the users on this server if we want to at this point, and see everything that they have on here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and exit out of there. And abort session, yes. And back and exit. And we're out of there. Okay. And if you're using your Metasploitable, let me show you the graceful way to get out of here. We'll go ahead and log in as their user, and then we sudo su, and put in his password again, and now we're root, as you can see right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to say halt, and it's going to start shutting down services and then shut down that virtual machine. Okay, so we went through how to actually utilize Metasploit to hack into a machine, and you could set up a persistent script in there, persistent program that will constantly be calling out for your listener if you wanted to. All kinds of things you can do from that point. Record audio, take screenshots, anything you want. So I hope that helped you understand Metasploit a bit more, and in the next tutorial for Metasploit, I'll go over adding new modules. Be sure to like and subscribe. Can always use more subscribers. I appreciate all the love. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy these tutorials and you gain good knowledge from them, and good luck on your career in pen testing and cybersecurity. Have a good one.